Hi guys, welcome back on the channel. On today's video, after a community vote, I'm going to show you a face-off between Blood and Crowns and Baron's War. At the moment I don't have a table. I'm expecting it moved in a new house, so it's very difficult to fight even small battle reports, actually two battle reports or two, let's say 2-3 phases from a battle report in order to compare all the specifics of the rules. But I'm going to fight one situation that I think it will be interesting, and at the same time when the armies are completed, we'll go into more detail, especially in Baron's Wars, as Blood and Crowns has a lot of videos and mechanics videos and rules explanations and battle reports that you can refer to. If you like this type of videos, situations where we can compare the mechanics and philosophies of rules, let me know and we will continue doing it. Now, Baron's Wars obviously is for the Baron's War era. Blood and Crowns rules is for the 100 Years War era, but now we're going to compare mechanics and philosophy. So we're going to start with Baron's War, and we're going to have a situation where we have a mounted baron and his knights are charging at a sergeant and his retinue. The sergeant, we have a flag here, is a commander, so he has some extra attributes. On purpose I put the distance to be longer than the movement rate of the Baron. The same will happen to Blood and Crowns rules. And in Baron's Wars, how you start basically by rolling 2 d6 and the face-off, let's say, of dice, and the winner takes the initiative, and then it's I go, you go. So let's say that the Barons won, and well, the Royalists won, and the Baron has to decide what to do. Now, in order for us to understand what we have and the attributes, let's talk about the attributes of the sergeants first, here, and we have. So we have the sergeant, who has a movement of 5, attack of +3, a defense of +6, morale of +2, and 2 actions because he's a commander. His sergeants, who are irregular, the sergeant is veteran, has a movement of 5, attack of +6, defense of +6, morale of +5, and 2 actions, obviously, because they're part of his group. They have the abilities of martial respect that I don't think it's going to play a role because it influences other units. And the commander has inspire, commander, and martial respect. These also influence other units as well. Now, if we go to our mounted lord from the Royalist section, we have, he's a veteran with his forces being regular. He has a movement of 7, he has an attack of +3, a defense of +3, morale of +3, and 2 actions. He's a commander, he inspires, he has chivalry, and he lives by the sword. He can roll 1 attack dice against a group who are not knights, so this is something that we can use here. His mounted knights are regular, they have 7 movement, +5 attack, +3 defense, +4 morale, and 1 actions. They have chivalry, live by the sword. Chivalry do not need to make morale checks to charge knights if they're not the closest target. It won't really, it's not applicable here. They're equipped with a sword, mail, bodied horse, and they have a medium shield that will give them an extra defense roll. I forgot to tell you how the sergeants are equipped, and they're equipped with the falchion. It's a slashing weapon that has some positive modifiers against unarmored wearing leather padded infantry, but this is not the case here. They're leather padded, and they have a large shield giving them a +7 shield roll at as a secondary defense. So let's start, and we said that there is a distance that is longer than the actual movement rate of the commander. So the distance, as we said, the commander, the Baron, has a movement of 7, and this is 8. So what's going to happen as per the rules? We need to roll a d10, a d6, and see how much extra movement in inches we will add, and if this will be successful. And we roll a 4. Now, in these circumstances, if we rolled a 1 or a 6, again, the charge would have been successful. But if we rolled a 1, the commander would have had to remove 1 attack dice. If we rolled a 6, the commander would have had to add 1 attack dice. It's a very innovative rule, I believe, that it concerns the lower let's say, numbers of D6 or D10 dice, and that's obviously a 1, and the higher number of a 6 or a 10 that give you positive and negative modifiers, like rewarding you for having a strong charge and rolling a 6. I think it's quite innovative and I like the rule. So now the charge is successful. The mounted Royal Baron is charging. This is the action that they will do, is charging the sergeant. Something I forgot to tell you, as we said, the barons have 2 actions that they can use for them or for neighboring units who are within command range, and the same happens with the royalists. With the sergeants, they have 2 actions as well that they can distribute or use themselves. As per the rules, every unit that performs the second action gets wary, gets basically tired. But if you do this to the command unit, a baron, a lord, this doesn't happen. We show the superiority of the unit and the commander who is part of the unit. So bear this in mind. We may come across it. So the knights will charge, but before they charge, the sergeants have an option of using one of their orders to do a reaction, and that's what they're going to do. They know that the mounted baron and his knights have a bodied warhorse. They're basically the tanks of the era, so they need to have a more chance of defending. They're not planning to attack, so they're going to use one reaction being a shield wall. They're going to do a defensive reaction, basically, so they can give positive modifiers. So this will mean that they will close their ranks, and with the shields they will try to get a better result, not being annihilated by the baron. So now we do the charge after the defensive reaction of the sergeants. So the barons charge. This is the charge token. These are cut by me. It's not what you get with the game. And now we're going to have to fight the melee. And let's go to our action cam and see how this works. So here we are fighting our hand-to-hand combat with the Lord, the mounted Lord, attacking the sergeants. These are 100 euros miniatures, and just wanted to remind you. And let's go here now to our tray. So we have one die per miniature. With the blue is for the baron, who we said has an attack of +3, while his knights have an attack of +5. Now, because they have a bodied warhorse, they get 1 extra die for every miniature. So we're going to roll, instead of 6, 12. Now the attack is +3, so we're hitting with +3 for the blue, and we are hitting with a +5 for the orange. So the baron didn't do that well. He got a 5, but his 1 hit. 2 is, and we have a 3, a 2, and a 3 here that they're not hits. We have a 7. We have a 9, another hit. We have a 5, another hit. Quite a lot of hits. We have another 9, an 8. Excuse me. And a 1 that's failed, and a 0. So let's go here and see this die rolls. So these are the die rolls that can be defended. There's no issue. But 0 is considered a critical hit, and the sergeants can defend it only with a 0. So the sergeants will roll 4 + 3, 7 dice. Their defense is 5 or 6, if I'm not mistaken. We'll check it now. But the 0 has to be defended with a 0. So let's go back and see how our sergeants will bear. So now the sergeants will hit with the defense of the sergeants. So the defense of the sergeants is a +6, but they said, you remember what I told you, we are in a defensive, we had a defensive reaction. That means we have a +2 modifier to our defense dice. So instead of +6, we need a +4, but the 0 remains a 0. So this 0, a critical hit, has to be defended with a 0. Doesn't matter if you roll above the +4. So let's go here and check and see. We need a +4, so we need a 2, that's a failure. A 1, another failure, and terrible. Another 1 is this. Another failure, you have a 9, but the 9 is 7. A 7. Another 1. Oh, this is terrible. Terrible. Let's go and check here first. So here we have we don't have a 0, so your highest dice will go to the 0, and basically it's a failure. The 2 sevens, they're properly saving. You can just change with any kind of dice. So two hits were saved. 1 hit is not saved, finish, and then you have 4 remaining hits that can be saved with a secondary roll. My sergeants have a shield, they have a large shield, and they can roll a +7 as a secondary roll to try to save the remaining unsaved hits. But there is a but here. When you roll a 1, and sergeants roll 3 ones, this is considered a very weak attempt to defend, and it's so weak that you are not really allowed to re-roll these during your secondary defense using a shield. So only 1, the 2, and this is very lucky, a 2 will be re-rolled using a secondary defense. That is the large shield of the rebel forces, of the sergeants that need a +7. So let's see, a +7, and he rolls another terrible one. So let's see, we have all hits here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits against our sergeants. This would mean, let's see now what's going to happen. This will mean that we will use our morale dice, and we will put it at 5 here. And obviously, if you want me to remove miniatures, I can remove miniatures, but let's keep it 5 here. So this will play important role during our morale test, that obviously it's required. We have to do first the pushback move, and then we'll continue with the remaining things that we have to do in order to finish this hand-to-hand combat. We have the overcharge of the bodied warhorse, and also we have the morale test, if it's failed or not, and if the unit is broken, we'll have the fleeing move. So let's go on. So we continue here. We said we have 5 hits, and that means that the pushback will be 5 + 1 is 6. 1 inch always is a standard pushback, and then 1 inch for every hit. So that's why I like these rules. They have very unpredictable pushback numbers. So we have to go 6 inches behind, and let's see here how we'll go 6 inches behind. So we go here, and now we have to roll for the Baron's overcharge. Now, how does this work? We have 5 inches from the morale die of the opponent, and then we roll a d6 and see how many extra inches we add, and we count our movement from the back of the pushback unit. So let's see, we roll another 5. So it's a 5 and a 5 at 10. So 10 inches, the Barons will move from behind of the pushed back unit. So the sergeants were pushed back 5 inches, and we changed the morale die to 5, and the mounted Baron and his knights just overcharged, and they're now 10 inches from the pushed back location of the unit. They need to rein in the horses. They need to rally test whenever they want. That's not necessary, but they need to do anything else. I saw a video. We can use this kind of card that is the attributes card, but we can use it to remind us. I think they use it in a battle report in Weymouth Studios, a very nice channel that shows a lot of Baron War stuff and rules. So yeah, I highly recommend it to you. I will put a link in the description. So here we are. The Barons are overcharged, and they are out of the way of well, they basically pushed through and just created a gap with the powerful horses, and they overcharged. So we have to go here and take a morale test. We have to go here and take a morale test because there is a problem now, a big problem with the sergeants. When you have 25% of your miniatures removed, and this is more than 25%, we have 9 miniatures, so it's 5, it's almost 55%, 60. You have to take a morale test. The morale test, the morale die of the sergeants is 3, a +3. This is because of the sergeant, but you have to add the 5 of your morale die. So 5 and 3 is an 8. So that means the sergeants need to roll 1d10 and 8 in order to survive and not get broken and not break. So they roll a 4 and they fail, and that means they become broken. Let's put a broken Immediately this means that they will fall back one movement, basically 4 inches. What's the movement? Yeah, 5 inches behind towards the closest table edge. And the closest table edge is here, so from this side. So they will move like this, probably diagonally, and they will flee. So let me do it before we finish this part. So we have the sergeants fleeing towards the closest table edge, while we have our mounted baron who's out of control and needs to rein in his horses. So guys, let's fight the same situation with using the Blood and Crowns rules. We have the mounted men-at-arms who have a commander also. They're veteran, and they have a defense from shooting of 6, a melee attack and melee defense of 5, and a resolve of 5. They have plate and mail armor, and they have the special rules of heavy cavalry. They're mounted, they're impetuous, and they have defense 1. I will explain all this to you. And let's go here and let's consider these guys. So these are veteran foot. They have pole arms. They don't have a special rule, and they have a 6 defense from shooting, a 6 melee for melee, for hand-to-hand combat, defend and attack, and 6 resolve. So now what we're doing is, we know the initiative is different in Blood and Crowns rules. It's as you have in Blood and Plunder with cards, and every card gives a specific number of actions to a unit. So if, let's say, we drew this card and this has precedence, let's say the initiative goes to the Mounted Knights, and the Mounted Knights are veterans, so they have with the Queen of Hearts 2 actions. So what they're going to do, let's see. Now let's say that this distance is more than 6. I think it's more anyway. The 6 is the movement of the Mounted Knights for Blood and Crowns. Yes, it's a 7. So every move requires an action. So you can move twice if you want. It's the only order you can give that you can do twice per activation, but if you move twice, then you will reach here and you don't have an action to attack. You have to probably push yourself, and that you have to give a fatigue point. So there is a rule inside Blood and Crowns where it's called charge attack. It means that you have 2 actions that are incorporated in 1 action. So what we're going to do is we're going to move, and then for a 1 action, and then use our second action that is given us by the card to do the charge attack move and attack the veteran foot. So our mounted men-at-arms charged with a charge attack, and they attack. Then it's time for them to attack. They have 6 minutes fighting, and they need to roll, in order to hit, they need to roll 5 and above. So let's go to our action cam and see. So we're attacking with the Mounted Knights. We have 6 dice, and we need a +6 because we're attacking pole arms. Pole arms is a +1 negative modifier to the charging unit. And they roll quite well. They roll a 6, 0, an 8, a 7, and a 7. Very good. Very good hits. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 possible hits against the poor veteran foot. Now the veteran foot have a defense of 6, but because they are charged by knights, this impetuous charge, and the lances and everything, they have a -2. So instead of 6, they need an 8 in order to defend. So let's go and see what they will do if they will defend, and they need an 8 instead of 6, as we said, because of the -2 modifier. And they have a 7, a 9, and a 6, and 9, and 1. So they defend only 1 of the 5 hits. So now we have to take a resolve test. A resolve test basically is a morale test. You roll 1 die for every hit plus the resolve die. Now the resolve of the veteran footman is 6, so they need to roll 6 and above in order to succeed. Don't forget we have 4 hits. We're going to put them afterwards. So they need a 6 and above, so they roll an 8 here, they roll a 7, they roll a 9, but they have 2 failures. That means they become double fatigued, and in the next round they will have a -1 action. So if we go here and we'll see, we'll put the fatigue, and we'll put it 2 so we know it's double fatigued. And we said they have 4 hits, so we can use the hit marker and put 4. Now the melee is finished, and we go to the next round where we'll see who will have the precedence, but it's not actually finished, and I'll tell you why. Let's go to our cam again. Now our knights had a Queen of Hearts, and it gave them 2 actions because they're veteran. Every unit can perform max of 3 actions per turn. Obviously, depending on the card, you may have 1, 2, or 3 actions, but you can reach your 3rd action as long as you have the possibility of adding a fatigue to your unit. So basically, you push yourself. It's called the pushing your unit. You push yourself to attack again, but in order to do that, you become fatigued. So if we give 1 fatigue point to our mounted knights, we would be able to attack, push themselves, and attack 1 more time. We cannot go further on because we reached our limit, 3 actions per turn of a unit. And we couldn't have done this if we were in the situation of the veteran foot. If you're already double fatigued, means that if you add another fatigue point, you get 3 fatigue points, meaning you become shaken. So never a unit can voluntarily become shaken. So this veteran should rally first, at least remove 1 fatigue point in order for them to try and fight back in, obviously, the round of your opponent. So if I add another fatigue point, I will use 6 dice to attack again the veteran foot. This time I don't have the -2 modifier to the defense because I'm not charging, and I don't get the negative modifier for my rolling die because polearms only when charged give this negative modifier to the opponent, but it's a straight die roll with your unit's characteristics. But the issue here is, if I do this again, is that because my opponents are still fatigued, they cannot fight back, so I can totally destroy them. So let's try and see this. I decided to attack back. I don't lose my my initiative and fight back, pushing my mounted knights to fight back and totally try to destroy the veteran foot. Let's go to the action cam. So we put the fatigue, and now we are rolling. It's a straight dice. We don't have modifiers now because we're not charging, and there is no negative modifier. So we need to roll all positive modifiers. We need to roll a 5, and we roll a 5 and 8, a 7 and 8 and 8 and a 2. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits. 5 hits that the veteran foot has to defend with a 6. As I said, there's no negative modifier here. So we have a 6 to defend. And they defend quite well. They defend 4. And there is a 2 remaining, one hit. So what we'll go here, we'll add the hit here. So there are 5. And we take a resolve test immediately. We said resolve test is the resolve die plus 1 die for every hit, and we need a plus 6. And we fail. So we fail, it's a 3 and a 9, we fail 1. Excuse me, we fail 1. What does this mean? This means that we get another fatigue point and we become shaken. So we become shaken, that means 3 fatigue points, and now we have to be pushed back. Pushed back 4 inches. Now the mounted knights have an option. Although they're impetuous, generally speaking, units that are forcing your opponent push back, they have an option. Either they follow up and they keep the contact, or they consolidate, basically move 1 inch and they stop there. So let's see what the knights will do. So the veteran foot is pushed back 4 inches here. But what the knights will do, they will consolidate. They will move 1 inch here, and they will stop. Why they want to do this? Because they want to, if they get the initiative before their opponents, they will be able to charge again, and then get all the positive or give all the negative modifiers to the defense of the charged unit, and obviously be able to have all this impetuosity to create problems to almost destroyed unit of 5 already gone. Of the soldiers of this unit. So this is how the rules work in both rules in these situations. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you like the differences. I hope I explained it to you well. Let me know if you like videos like this, but I'm going to wait until the armies are completed so we can have also Baron's War miniatures. We can make it look a bit more realistic and not having 100 Years' War. But I hope this situation explained to you and made you understand the mechanics and the different concepts of both rule sets, so you can have an opinion. I love both rule sets. I think Baron's Wars have some really innovative rules. I think Blood and Crown some really interesting mechanics, and they work very well for the 100 Years' War. I would highly recommend them both, depending on what era you're playing. If both authors decide to venture in the equivalent period, Blood and Crowns go back to Baron's Wars, and Baron's Wars go to the 100 Years' Wars that I'm hearing rumors. They will be interesting to see how they will adapt their rules. Although I believe the special rules are the core of these rule sets, that if they change, the core of the rules, the mechanics can accommodate any medieval era. So this is for me, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for the support of the channel. Follow Weymouth Studios. They have really good stuff for the Baron's Wars. And bye-bye.